This is the last day of October, Halloween 2024, the last day of my Vlogtober efforts. It's something that I wasn't sure I'd be able to achieve, and I haven't managed to do it every day. But the thing is that I have made a really significant step forward into something that I've always wanted to do, but have always been too afraid to do. And there are so many things like that in life, things that we want to do but are too afraid to do. I always, for a long time, had wanted to wear hair, specifically when I'm at work. It took me so long to muster up that courage and to tackle the team and to communicate how I felt. But I did it. And there are so many things in life that I haven't done that I want to do. And it's always one step at a time, isn't it, moving forward? Over the years, I never imagined that I could have a workable wardrobe. And also never gave myself permission to try it out. I wanted to just stick to what I'd always done and to my beliefs about it, which never worked. But now I feel a real excitement about it. I really feel like I'm moving forward in my life in this respect, and it's all to do with allowing myself to, changing my core beliefs and overcoming hurdles and fears that I have lived with for a very long time. Once you start to do that with one thing, it spills out into all different areas of life. I wonder what else I could try and tackle doing. I can't think of anything else now. And I have to say also that my eating's really been on point over these last few days, and I definitely feel it in my waistline. I think once you drop to a certain weight, losing weight is much more noticeable quicker. I do recall when I was a much larger size, I would have to be dieting for ages and ages before I would ever see any difference. And most of the time I actually gave up before seeing any real difference. There are two particular areas that I really focus on at the moment. The first is eating snacks and sweets. I've knocked that on the head. And the second is having unsuitable foods just before going to bed. And I'm really keeping a close eye on that. I'm very particular about what I'm eating and how late. There's really nothing, well, there are very few things that you can't achieve in your life if you give yourself permission to go for it and try, and not be held back by fear of failure, not trusting yourself, being worried that you're going to get it wrong. I suppose at my age, 55, I don't have, it's a luxury, I don't have the luxury of endless time stretched out ahead of me. I often think, if I don't do it now, when will I do it? And then it's a matter of just prioritizing what is the best thing to do. It's amazing how far I've come in these last few years. You know, I wear hair as a matter of course. It's given me a new lease of life and confidence. I've found that people have been so accepting and understanding. Every woman I've spoken to about it understands the problem of alopecia and how serious it can be. And I've also learned how many women have got concerns about their own hair. So a lot of the time, you're kind of preaching to the converted. difference is that there are some women who will allow themselves to wear hair, and some women who still can't get over the taboo of wearing hair and would never allow themselves to wear hair. I also feel that my weight is manageable, that it's under my control in a sense. I no longer have a sense of being out of control with my weight. And that's a very reassuring and wonderful feeling, to know that I can be a real ally to myself when it comes to my weight, my dress, my hair. And of course, knock-on effects to the relationships in my life. I'd even go so far as to say as that I have no doubt in my mind that my relationship with my husband has improved a lot, in the sense that I feel more empowered within that relationship. It's because I feel happy with myself. I feel that I'm progressing as a person, and that I'm seeing positive things in myself. And I suppose that the confidence that that brings me can be seen by him. I've always thought that there is some kind of a power play in relationships. When I was growing up, I don't know about you guys, but in my teenage years, I used to hear things like, oh, it's never equal in relationships. There's always one person more in love with the other person. I don't know about that. But certainly when I think back to 2016, when he disappeared for a whole year, and I was so devastated, and I felt that it was the worst thing that had ever happened to me. That can never happen to me again. Well, you may be asking, well, what do you mean? How come? He could easily maybe decide to pack up and ship out again. But the thing is that when you are empowered in yourself, it can never be experienced in the same way. I will never be as devastated as I was that first time around. I will never be as afraid, as insecure, as lost, as hopeless as I was when it happened that first time around. I'm a completely different person now. I have got also so much faith in tomorrow. Now, I'm not saying that I'm completely sorted and that I have managed to cross all the T's and dot all the I's regarding my future. But I have more faith in tomorrow. I have more faith in myself. It's a really fundamental shift that has occurred to me over this last year, I think. And yet, my outward circumstances haven't changed at all. It's definitely my inward self that has changed, and that sees life so different now than I've ever done before. I'm not so intimidated. I don't have so many fears about tomorrow, so many insecurities. I mainly have faith that something will come up, something will work itself out. If I need help and assistance, it'll come from somewhere. Whatever resource I need, it'll come from somewhere. I wish I knew where that faith really comes from. All I know is that we go along our life. Life is not easy. A lot of our challenges are really saved up for when we're old and frail. But somehow or other, we all manage to get through.